The silent reality of modern dating is that silence itself is often the loudest message you will ever receive, but it is also the one most men are completely unqualified to translate. You have been taught that if a woman is interested, she will be consistent, and that if things are going great, the momentum will carry itself. But the cold psychological truth is that for many women, the moment of peak connection is exactly when the disappearance act begins. This is a phenomenon where she suddenly pulls away right when you feel like you have finally unlocked her heart. Imagine the confusion of a man who has played every card right only to find himself staring at a blank screen and a cold shoulder. Most men react to this silence with panic, with desperation, and with a flood of messages that only accelerate her departure. But the man who understands female psychology knows that her withdrawal is not a random accident. It is a complex biological and emotional defense mechanism. Today, I am pulling back the curtain on the psychology of the pull away. I am going to expose the hidden reasons why women disappear when things are going great and how you can navigate the void without surrendering your masculine authority. If you are ready to stop being the victim of her mixed signals and start becoming the master of the emotional distance, you cannot afford to miss a single second of this. Most men walk through a relationship assuming that interest is a permanent state, but in reality, it is a fluctuating energy that is highly sensitive to the perception of power. When things are going great, a man often makes the mistake of becoming too available and too predictable. He begins to orbit her world, and in doing so, he accidentally signals that the chase is over and that he has been fully conquered. This creates a psychological value drop. A woman's attraction is fueled by mystery and the pursuit of a high-value prize. The moment she feels she has figured you out completely, the dopamine levels in her brain begin to plummet. She pulls away not because she hates you, but because she is trying to rediscover the challenge that made you attractive in the first place. She is subconsciously testing to see if you are a man who has his own world, or if your entire happiness is now dependent on her presence. While the average man is begging for her return, you are busy building your own empire and maintaining the gravity that pulled her in at the start. The second pillar of the disappearance act is the fear of engulfment. When a woman starts to feel deep emotions for a man, it can be terrifying for her subconscious. She feels her autonomy slipping away, and she worries that she is losing herself in the connection. This is a primal survival reflex. To regain her sense of balance, her brain triggers a reset button by creating distance. She needs to step back into her own space to see if she can still survive without you. She is effectively checking her own emotional brakes. If you chase her during this phase, you are proving her fears right. You are becoming a pressure cooker that she needs to escape from. But if you give her the gift of true absence, you are allowing her to feel the weight of your loss. You are giving her the space to miss the protection and the energy you provide. Silence is the only tool that can heal the fear of engulfment. By staying still, you are showing her that you are not a threat to her freedom, but a sanctuary she chooses to return to. This leads us to the emotional overload theory. Sometimes things go so well that her internal system simply cannot process the intensity of the bond. She feels over-identified with you, and her brain needs to cool down. This is common with women who have a history of high emotional sensitivity. They disappear to process their own feelings in private because they don't want you to see them in a state of vulnerability. Most men misinterpret this as a lack of interest when it is actually a sign of extreme investment. The man who understands the code does not interrupt this processing phase. He knows that his silence is a sign of respect for her internal world. He remains the unshakable anchor while she navigates her own emotional storm. When she finally returns, she will find him exactly where she left him, strong, focused, and entirely unaffected by her temporary absence. This unshakability is what rebuilds the attraction to an even higher level than before. The third thing you must master is the test of sovereignty. Often a woman will pull away as a deliberate but subconscious test of your masculine frame. She wants to see if you are a man who can be moved by her emotional whims. If you react with anger, or if you start apologizing for things you didn't do, you have failed the test. You have shown her that her distance has the power to break you. But if you remain indifferent to the silence, you are passing the ultimate test of leadership. You are signaling that your internal peace is not a commodity that she can manipulate. This indifference is highly magnetic. It makes her wonder how you can be so calm without her. It triggers her competitive drive to reclaim her place in your mind. By doing nothing, you are doing everything. You are forcing her to be the one who bridges the gap because she realizes that your world is moving forward with or without her. The fourth hidden reason is the presence of a competitor or a ghost from the past. When things are going great, it often triggers a reevaluation of her other options. She might be comparing the stability you offer with the chaos of a previous flame or the potential of someone new. This internal comparison requires silence and distance. If you are the man who is constantly checking in and asking where she is, you look like the low-value option. You look like the man who is afraid of losing. But if you are the man who is so confident in his own value that he doesn't feel the need to compete, you are already winning. Your silence tells her that you are the prize, and that if she chooses to look elsewhere, that is her loss. This level of self-assurance is the only thing that can win the comparison battle. You are not fighting for her attention. You are simply making your presence a reward for her loyalty. You need to realize that the vacuum of silence is where her imagination grows. When you are constantly present, her mind has no room to wonder about you. But when you are gone, she begins to fill the void with memories of your best moments. She starts to romanticize your strength and your mystery. This is where obsession is born. You cannot build obsession in the presence of constant contact. You build it in the gap. The disappearance act is your opportunity to become a legend in her mind. While other men are trying to fix the silence, you are using it as a weapon of attraction. You are allowing the scarcity of your presence to drive up your perceived value. You are the director of the narrative, and the silence is your most powerful scene. The final stage of navigating the pull-away is the re-entry protocol. When she eventually reaches out, and if you have handled the silence correctly, she will, you must not reward the disappearance with immediate and excessive warmth. You must be polite but guarded. You must show her that your attention is not a light switch that she can flip on and off. You are welcoming her back, but she must earn her way back to the inner circle of your focus. This reinforces the boundaries of the relationship and teaches her that your time is a rare resource. You have moved from being a man who is afraid of being ghosted to becoming a man who is the master of his own sanctuary. True mastery of female psychology is about this level of emotional detachment. It is about knowing that your worth is independent of anyone's response time. You are building a life that is so fulfilling and so focused on mission that a woman's temporary absence is merely a footnote in your story. This level of self-containment is what makes you the legendary man women never want to leave. They pull away to see if you will chase, and when you don't, they realize they have found something truly rare, a man who is already whole. As you walk through the world, remember that her silence is not a void to be feared, but a space to be mastered. Do not give away your power for a text message. Do not let the fear of losing someone drive you into the arms of desperation. Be the man who is the master of his own presence and his own absence. When you do this, you trigger the fascinate reflex in every soul you encounter. You become the man people wonder about. You become the man who stays grounded while the world is in chaos. The mystery of the heart is a map for the strong. Use it to build a connection that is unshakable. The legendary life is waiting for the man who is brave enough to choose the stillness. Trust the protocol. Trust the silence. And most importantly, trust the man you are becoming. The era of chasing is over. You are now the master of your own emotional kingdom. Lead with authority and let the world come to you.